Akira, a young man with big dreams, sprawls on his couch, eyes glued to the TV. A zombie show plays, filled with thrilling escapes and heart-pounding chases. He sighs dramatically, "If only my life were that exciting," he mutters to himself, yearning for an adventure far removed from his routine life. Fast forward 3 years. Akira stands nervously outside a sleek office building, his heart pounding with a mix of excitement and apprehension. He's finally landed his dream job in the production department. As he enters, he bumps into Saori, a cheerful woman with kind eyes. She works in the accounting department and explains a few things about navigating the office. Their brief encounter leaves a spark in Akira's heart. Later that night, Akira attends a company party at a lively bar. As he chats with colleagues, their friendly facades start to crumble. They ask him robotic questions about his college life, their smiles seeming forced and their eyes glazed over. A shiver runs down Akira's spine. Something feels off. The following days unfold into a blur of work deadlines and endless tasks. Akira pulls several all-nighters, fueled by coffee and a desperate desire to prove himself. But the more he tries, the further away his dreams seem. A colleague mentions the company's amazing employee benefits, including paid vacations and mental health days. But the reality is far from this bright picture. A year passes. The pressure mounts, and Akira finds himself at the mercy of his demanding boss, Mr. Kosugi. Saori, noticing his exhaustion, brings him food, a gesture that warms his heart. He confesses to her, revealing she was his secret crush. But his dreams are shattered when he learns she's the CEO's mistress. Disillusioned and lost, Akira questions everything about his life. The stress becomes unbearable. Akira sits on the edge of his apartment building, contemplating a desperate escape. He craves freedom from the suffocating work environment. Back home, the TV offers no solace, only shows about workplace etiquette and employee safety, a cruel reminder of his current reality. Exhausted and sleep-deprived, Akira wakes up to a strange letter on his door. He forgets to pay his bike parking fee. As he heads downstairs to talk to the manager, he notices the door ajar. Inside, the manager, with vacant eyes and pale skin, shuffles towards him, a zombie. Panic sets in as other transformed people surround the building. Suddenly, a wave of relief washes over Akira. He's free from the oppressive world of deadlines and office politics. But this freedom comes at a terrifying cost. Hordes of zombies roam the streets, turning the once familiar city into a chaotic battlefield. Seeking shelter, Akira finds a quiet corner and contemplates his next move. He worries about Saori's safety. With a surge of courage, he decides to face the danger, confessing to himself, "I'd rather face zombies than keep my feelings bottled up." He sprints towards Saori's apartment, his heart pounding in his chest. Breaking inside, he finds his zombified boss attacking her. Drawing on his past rugby experience, Akira tackles the boss, sending him crashing through the window. Turning back to Saori, he tearfully confesses his love, but the transformation has begun in her eyes. With a heavy heart, Akira realizes he must leave. Under the cloak of night, Akira wanders into a deserted store. He grabs a notebook and a Sharpie, feeling a spark of determination. He starts listing down 100 things he's always wanted to do, a personal bucket list for his newfound freedom. His life might have taken an unexpected turn, but within the chaos, he found a chance to rewrite his own story, one thrilling adventure at a time. The morning alarm blared, but Akira slammed his hand down on it with a grin. No more boring office work for him. He'd woken up to a world gone wild, a world free from his dreaded alarm clock, a world overrun by zombies. Instead of work clothes, he threw on a comfy shirt and grabbed a cold can of his favorite soda. He spent the morning cleaning his apartment, blasting his favorite tunes, feeling like a king in his wacky new kingdom. But as the sun began to set, a craving took hold, the irresistible thirst for another cold drink. Suddenly, the news on the TV crackled to life. A frantic reporter, face pale and voice trembling, described the chaos outside. But just as she started urging people to stay safe, a guttural moan grew closer. On the screen, a figure with vacant eyes and ragged clothes lunged at the reporter, cutting the broadcast short. Akira's playful smile faded. The reality of the situation hit him. His fridge held enough drinks to last a while, but the loneliness gnawed at him. The next day came, and with it, the dreaded empty fridge sign. Akira sighed, his optimism replaced with a grumbling stomach. Gathering his courage, he grabbed a baseball bat and stepped outside. He cautiously navigated the streets, dodging shambling figures with vacant stares. On a nearby balcony, he spotted a couple, their faces filled with fear. After a tense explanation, they revealed their names were Mr. and Mrs. Kosaka and offered him shelter if he helped fetch supplies from a nearby store. Akira agreed, the promise of company and a full fridge too strong to resist. He zoomed off on his bike, reaching the store with a roar of the engine. Inside, he spotted a girl grabbing a water bottle. "Hey there," he chirped, grabbing his favorite soda. Fancy joining forces? We could conquer this whole zombie thing together. The girl, her eyes narrowed, slammed the water bottle down. Conquering zombies? You're out here risking your life for soda? Are you crazy? Akira, embarrassed, mumbled an apology. But before they could continue, a group of shuffling figures moaned their way into the store. Screams filled the air as the girl grabbed Akira's arm and yanked him towards the back. A deafening roar echoed as a car smashed through the storefront, taking out the zombies. The girl, panting, explained she saw the entire thing through a camera on her bike. Thanks, Akira mumbled, sheepishly scratching his head. He looked outside to see his bike crushed under the wreckage. Dejected, he borrowed a motorcycle from the girl and headed back to the Kosaka's place. But his heart sank as he saw their apartment door hanging open, the interior shrouded in an ominous silence. Blood splattered on the walls and furniture confirmed his worst fear. The Kosakas were either gone or turned. Akira returned home, a crushing weight in his chest. He stared at his blank wall, feeling lost and alone. He pulled out a forgotten notebook and began writing, filling it with things he always wanted to do, a list for the future he wasn't sure he'd have. 33 wishes spilled onto the paper, a flicker of hope igniting in his heart. Meanwhile, the girl from the store was doing her own thing. Flashbacks showed her training, her focus sharp as she listened to the emergency broadcasts. She meticulously wrote down details about the zombies she observed through binoculars, her mind strategizing for survival. One day, as she rummaged for supplies, she encountered Akira singing an off-key song about his love for soda. Through the footage on her bike camera, she had seen him moments before the car crashed, realizing he wasn't entirely reckless but brave in his own way. As the girl returned home, she stared at a picture of a delicious sakura mochi, a dessert she craved. The store had some, but she hadn't taken any, focusing only on essentials. She sighed, wondering if grabbing that treat might have added a little sweetness to this bitter world. Inside Cub Showtime, a karaoke bar turned makeshift fortress, show and the staff managers fought bravely against the relentless waves of undead with every ounce of their strength. Meanwhile, Akira, recently awakened from a 3-year coma, was on a mission to fulfill his lifelong dream list, a bucket list he'd never dared to touch before the world went mad. One of the first items on his list was to grow a magnificent beard as manly and impressive as the ones he'd seen in movies. He diligently followed the instructions, but sadly, his facial hair refused to cooperate, leaving him with a patchy mess instead. Discouraged but not defeated, Akira decided to check his phone for the first time in years. The Wi-Fi had miraculously come back on, and a flood of forgotten messages bombarded him. As he scrolled through the list, a name jumped out at him, Kensho, his best friend. A jolt of excitement surged through him. Could it be? Could Kensho be alive? Driven by hope, Akira dialed Kensho's number. His heart hammered in his chest as the phone rang. He had to find his friend no matter what. On the other end of the line, a frantic voice confirmed his suspicions. Kensho was alive, but trapped in a terrifying situation. He was stuck in the bondage room of Cub Showtime, a place once filled with laughter and song, now a prison guarded by a single, hungry zombie. Fear not, Kensho, but Akira's voice, filled with determination, calmed his nerves. He promised to meet Kensho in Shinjuku, a bustling district in the city. As Akira raced through the deserted streets towards the meeting point, he reminisced about Kensho. In college, Kensho was the life of the party, always the center of attention. After graduation, he became a successful real estate agent, constantly bragging about his job, which secretly made Akira jealous. He'd often tell Akira to quit his dead-end job and chase his dreams, but Akira, stuck in his routine, never listened. Reaching Shinjuku, Akira found Cub Showtime in chaos. The staff managers, including Sho, were engaged in a desperate battle for survival against the relentless zombies. Just as Sho was about to be overrun, a commotion drew the attention of the undead away, giving him a chance to escape. Suddenly, Kensho emerged from the bar, his face pale with fear. He had managed to break free from the bondage room, but the zombie was still on his heels. Akira, seeing his friend in danger, yelled out a plan. He leaped across a gap between buildings, reaching safety on the other side. He encouraged Kensho to follow suit, but Kensho hesitated. With tears in his eyes, Kensho confessed a shocking truth. He hated his job as a real estate agent. All those years of boasting, all the pressure he put on Akira, it was all a facade. His true passion, the dream he had always harbored but never dared to pursue, was to become a stand-up comedian. He had been afraid to follow his heart, afraid of failure. Seeing the raw emotions on his friend's face, Akira understood. He urged Kensho to leave his fear behind and jump for his dream, just like he had jumped across the gap. With a newfound resolve, Kensho shed his clothes, symbolizing the shedding of his old life, and took the leap. He landed safely on the other side, a wide grin replacing his fear. As the night fell, Akira and Kensho sat huddled together on the rooftop, still dressed in their underwear, sharing stories and laughter. Kensho, filled with newfound confidence, declared that he would become the greatest stand-up comedian the world had ever seen, even with the apocalypse raging around them. Akira wasn't so sure, but he didn't have the heart to dampen his friend's spirit. They settled in for a night of uneasy sleep, the city lights twinkling around them like scattered stars. As Akira drifted off to sleep, he glanced at his crumpled bucket list, a silent reminder of his own dreams waiting to be chased, and face it head-on, one adventure at a time. The whirring of a video game console filled the rooftop as Akira, tousled hair, battled through a crowd of pixelated zombies. Beside him, Kensho, his cheerful friend, expertly flipped sizzling meat on a grill, the scent wafting through the evening air. "Seriously, dude, you're as bad at this game as you are at getting a girlfriend," Kensho teased, sending a playful jab at Akira. But he quickly added, "Hey, good luck with the ladies in the new world, though." Akira, defeated in both the game and the playful jab, slumped back in his chair. As he launched into another virtual battle, Kensho's eyes drifted to a crumpled piece of paper lying next to Akira, his bucket list. With a mischievous grin, Kensho snatched it, adding a few scribbles before returning it to its owner. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" Akira protested. "Just adding some essential items, my friend," Kensho chuckled. "After all, you saved my life, so I'm sticking by you for the whole ride." Ignoring Akira's further protests, Kensho suggested they head to Ikebukuro, a vibrant city district, to fulfill one of Akira's bucket list items, acquiring a giant widescreen TV. Akira, initially hesitant, agreed to the plan. On their journey, they encountered a terrifying obstacle, a runaway truck swerving wildly, its driver a mindless zombie. With reflexes honed on countless hours of video games, Akira expertly swerved and dodged through the horde of zombies attracted by the commotion. They finally found refuge in a deserted mall, seeking shelter in the underground department store. As they ventured deeper, they stumbled upon a group of survivors, 3 girls, their faces filled with a mix of relief and despair. These survivors, unlike Akira and Kensho, didn't seem to share their optimistic spirit. Learning they were flight attendants, Akira and Kensho saw an opportunity to fulfill another item on the list, spending time with attractive ladies. However, Akira quickly faced the harsh reality of the situation. As Kensho effortlessly charmed one of the girls, Maki, Akira felt left out. Desperate to get the attention of the other girls, he gulped down a shot of tequila, hoping to appear cool. His plan, unorthodox as it was, worked. The girls erupted in laughter, and Akira, feeling a surge of fleeting confidence, excused himself to the restroom. While he battled his nausea, one of the girls, Yukari, checked on him, her genuine concern touching his heart. Meanwhile, Kensho and Maki explored the store, their lighthearted mood shattered as they discovered Reika, another survivor, now transformed into a horrifying zombie. The zombified Reika attacked Maki, leaving her mortally wounded. Kensho, filled with grief and rage, dispatched the undead Reika with a single blow. Back with Akira, Yukari revealed she checked on him not because of his cheesy pickup line, but because she genuinely cared. However, she confessed to having a boyfriend, crushing Akira's hopes. Despite the disappointment, he appreciated her kindness and the fleeting moment of joy she brought him. As if the tragedy wouldn't end, the lone survivor they encountered earlier turned into a zombie and attacked Yukari. In a desperate attempt to save her, Akira tackled the zombie but was too late. The bite on Yukari's arm confirmed the inevitable, she too was infected. With a heavy heart, Yukari tearfully confessed her love for her job, the one she thought she hated. Her words resonated deeply with Akira, who realized his dream of working in the film industry might not be his own, but a borrowed one from his childhood. Forced to leave the dying Yukari behind, Akira rejoined Kensho, who had managed to snag an impressive 8K widescreen TV. Together, they escaped the mall, the weight of their experience hanging heavy in the air. Back in their hideout, the silence was deafening. The recent events replayed in Akira's mind, Kensho's unwavering loyalty, Yukari's unexpected kindness, and the harsh reality of their new world. Determined to hold onto his childhood dream, no matter how long ago it was forgotten, Akira picked up a pen and added a new item to his bucket list, "Remember my childhood dream." With a heavy heart but a flicker of renewed determination, Akira returned to the familiar whirring of the video game console, the virtual world offering a temporary escape from the harsh reality that awaited them outside.